20. Meeting about impact plan with the board order 7:31 p.m. I have noticed this meeting has been provided in accordance to section 3D of chapter 231 Public Laws of 1975. Coming in the sunshine law. For all cases.
Paul Muir,
Here.
Jose Reyes,
Here.
Jeff Coletti,
Here.
Ken Shalay,
Here.
Jose Maderos,
Here.
Philip Bellin,
Here.
Grace Ann Kelly. Here. Brad Nelson,
Here.
Ryan Messinger,
Here.
Steve DiLorenzo, Henry McDonald,
Here.
Scott Wilhelm,
Present.
Tom Decker,
Here.
Alexia Parlian,
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Anybody open the public for agenda comments?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Public comment on the agenda items. Motion opposed?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm ready to deal with the 2016-02 application for Chapkin resolution. First. So, you should all, you're recusing yourself from, both, and that's it. We can get the other one. Okay. So we all have, copies of the resolution granting the variances for Chapkin. Variance number 26-02. I have one correction on page 5. Where it says, whereas the chairman, to note in the comment, we have to put in there vice chairman. Just to make sure that it's crystal clear. Anything else? And everywhere else it does refer to vice chairman, so. Anybody have any questions? Your motion on the resolution.
And just, Mr. Vice Chairman, just for the record, I did speak with the applicant's attorney who was satisfied with the, the resolution of the.
Do I have any motion on granting approving this resolution?
Did you ask for a motion?
Yeah, I mean, I realize nobody's probably had a chance to read it yet, so. It was 12 pages, so. Yeah.
I have a question. When you grant, give them permission to go beyond a certain property line. That setback. When you grant permission for them to build on a setback or do something in that setback. How does it, or does it affect the property next door if later on they come back, they want to do the same thing?
Yeah, because the setback is from the property line.
Right,
So they're building outside of that setback. They're not building outside of their property line.
not outside the setback, but your neighbor may want to build outside.
They just end up being closer than.
Okay, there's no impact on the neighbor.
Every application is, out of its own merits, on its own facts, so if the neighbor comes in and says, hey, my next door neighbor got a variance for this. And therefore I want one, that's not gonna rule the day, it has to be based upon the uniqueness of that property.
Okay, thank you.
Just a housekeeping thing, on page 10. I seconded Brad's motion. My last name is MAC. And then I'm not listed as having voted, but I did.
That's my error, thank you for pulling that up.
No worries.
Although we had 9 people, you would have been 10, so maybe you didn't vote because you were all for number 1.
The meeting minutes I bought,
But,
I don't know if I needed my vote or not, but.
uh,
We had 9 at the, I believe.
He's actually only 3.
What is?
so she'll.
Yes, she got yes. Because Mr. Coletti.
How many do we
9, you're not supposed, you can't have more than the authorized membership of 9, so perhaps we somehow got 10.
Well, Mr. Coletti was not here.
Oh, he wasn't? No. All right, then, maybe that was my mistake. Okay,
Yeah. So Mr. Coletti should be replaced by Dan McDonald.
yes, okay, not third, yeah.
I try all the time, I just.
So page 9 of each twelve months.
Yeah, I'll go for it. We weren't even consistent in misspelling your name. Do not know how to do it.
We'll make a motion to approve the Chattanooga resolution number 2025-16, and just the MAC, changes. And the change on page 5. Oh, and the change, right, correct, and the vice chair will change on page 5, and the vote. And the voting correction.
Yeah.
I will second Mr. Nelson's motion.
We have to take a roll call.
Yes, and obviously we voted in favor of it in the vote.
Ready, Therese,
Now, I staying from voting on this. Can I vote on this?
Yes, if you stay.
Okay, yes.
So. Hold on a second, yeah. You didn't have to abstain, man.
Oh, okay,
You abstained, on something else?
yes, I did. Okay, yes,
Mr. Bell,
yes.
Ms. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Messenger,
Yes.
Mr. Nelson,
Yes.
Mr. McDonald,
Yes.
and Vice Chairman Maderos.
Yes.
Thank you.
So resolution is passed. And. Now the clock, 45 starts in 45 days for the.
Yeah, 45 days from the time it's published, so the board sec, that will speak with the applicant and I'm sure it doesn't without publication. 20 days of publication.
So we are gonna jump ahead to the minutes for the Shannon hearing. So there was, the June 8th addendum and April 27th addendum. That's it. Correct, it?
Right.
Don't believe I was here for this evening.
You weren't there for, Coletti, I mean, for, June 8th, but you were there for the 27th.
Mr. Chairman, obviously, we can come down, please, so I'll correct that. And under members recused, Monica Chalet should be removed, she's not a member.
Okay.
That was on June the eighth.
Yes.
Do I have a motion on the April 27th? Addendum to the minutes. It was an addendum, I think, only because originally we had called it executive session.
It's not truly an
And
executive,
it's not actually executive session, it was just,
so we came up with.
it was a different session because the chairman and the
Right.
board secretary had the cue. Right.
Mm.
I'll make a motion to accept the April 27th meeting minutes as ended.
So the addendum, the amendments were the spelling of your name.
And the removal of Monica.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you. All in favor? Opposed? Abstained? And then the June eighth.
We'll make a motion to accept the June 8th minutes. With the changes.
For the same amendment changes, correct? Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The abstentions?
The only one you would use.
All right. Okay. That's it. But I'd like to just thank Cindy Keeper for all her help. Stepping up and filling in, and he did a fantastic job, and I'm really appreciate your help.
Oh. It was definitely a pleasure working with everybody.
Right. Now we have, we're getting busy. So we're gonna have, completed termination for block 34, lot 12.
Mr. Chairman. It's the active property, so we're repeating my own, we recuse myself from this discussion.
I'm also recusing myself.
Right. We issued a report, and give an outline.
Sure. I issued a report on
Mr. Coletti should probably recuse himself as well.
Oh, yes, yes, I do the, last year.
So then we're going to do the class B variance. Yeah, so.
On June 12th, our office issued a complete determination for the lot 34, lot 12. To the Panini and Sons Realty. Our letter at the time recommended that the application be deemed complete. With some completeness, some waivers for completeness purposes outlined. However, recently, the property owner had brought significant amount of millings to the property and spread them on the property. And I was notified, I believe, by a zoning officer of that, also by slowness and control. I visited the site, and the spreading of millings is extensive. So my recommendation would be that the application be incomplete at this time, because the plans as submitted no longer reflect the existing conditions. So the applicant's engineer met with me last week, we discussed what needed to be done. And they would be taking what was the existing features plan, make that a pre-existing features plan. Submit an updated existing features plan that fits the limits of the millings that have been spread. And also, they've been directed that if they're proposing millings or paving in that area, that their site plans need to be revised in accordance. So we recommend that we be incomplete. I understand that their engineer is currently putting together a revised package that would be submitted and subject to a subsequent.
Are millings required to be paved over?
Yes and no. The DEP's direction on millings is not very clear. Because there's been an issue, plants have been receiving more millings than they can process. So there's been some discussions with DEP about their use and so forth. However, common practice is that they can be used as a base course, but they have to be topped with pavement or they have to be sealed to encapsulate the millings. That's been the practice typically. Unfortunately, the DEP looked at this a few years ago and it kind of died in obscurity.
Okay, so there is no requirement to pave over them or?
I have to look at both.
It's, so as Chris Christie left the office, one of the final things he signed among 25 other things was that millings could be used per DEP's guidance. And since then, DEP has not written the guidance
Okay.
on whether or not they need to be topped. So it's a very gray area.
Okay.
in the industry.
There have been opinion pieces
Okay.
and so forth, but
Good. So as it stands, it will not have to be paved.
I haven't gotten that far yet.
Thought that, honestly, right? That's what they're all, accommodations, fine. All right, so based on that, we need to, is there any other questions, or do we want to not take Tom's advice?
So
Okay, is there any other?
if we don't know whether it needs to be paved, when we're planning for the new plans, you're just gonna show as an existing condition, and then we can later determine.
And, right, that'll be part of our technical review, and then I've also told them the millings are staying, and if they're bringing in more, that has to be incorporated into their site plan application.
Okay, is anybody's feeling that it should be deemed complete?
Well, so,
No.
hold on. First,
Yeah, but we're not supposed to have conversations on motion until we here, I mean, because you're asking for the ultimate question. So in my view, you have to make a motion, somebody would have to make if everybody's satisfied, then nobody makes a motion. But if somebody wants it to be deemed incomplete, we have to make a motion to now deem it was complete. Also, you don't have to, the engineers recommended, so right now it's complete. If anybody on the board thinks it should now be deemed incomplete because of changed circumstances, they can move for that. If nobody moves.
No, we never voted. No.
Oh,
No. And something to add, the applicant's attorney did issue a letter to the board.
Tom recommended it be complete, and then before we met, recommended it to be.
Correct.
It was on our last agenda, I believe, and
But it was-
table that we did not.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Right.
It wasn't, it was improperly listed. on the
Yes.
agenda.
Correct.
We couldn't write cash on
Exactly.
that because the lawyer didn't know whether we should be.
That's right.
That's all right.
You're correct, you were correct, my apologies. I remember that.
I'll make a motion to deem the application complete.
Second. Motion made, second, any further discussion?
Just one question, with, the attorney who's still removed in that, they seem to be going along with that, is that the usual protocol, but would there be any, problems down the line?
Based on what
With the broom, right?
in my view, the burden's on him, if he thinks that procedurally something was done incorrectly by the board. So once the determination is made, he files an appeal
Mhm.
that he can make that argument. In my view, I don't think it's a strong argument, but he wouldn't be able to bring that up until the appeal was done. If, for instance, this hearing goes through and it's granted, and they get everything they want, or at least they're satisfied with what they want, then we would be a moot issue. But the burden would be on him to say, oh, it was already deemed complete. But I also believe that you change, the argument would be there would change circumstances. He's saying by operational law, we can think what we're saying, no, the circumstances made it different. So I think you would have a tough time thing. I don't see a judge saying, well, 45 days passed and there were changed circumstances, but it's still completed.
Right. Motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Abstention? Right, we have block 34, block 29. Lane application.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to recuse myself because this property is the minimum level.
Back up. What's that? Block 29. Block 34. Block 29. Says block still here. And what's going on there?
It was separated by clips.
Yeah. Yep, they're right. So it's 20 White Oak Drive. Yeah.
It's only for people.
Okay. You're up.
We reviewed the application for completeness, found that everything was in order. Application.
Mr. Chairman, I do have two comments. One of the documents that was submitted is purported to be the certification from the tax collector regarding taxes. And unless there's something that I didn't see, what I received in the packet was simply a printout regarding the taxes with a tax payment history, which is legal proof of payment taxes and a printout. But I don't see a certification from the tax collector. And so that's a checklist item. And we all know what that form looks like when tax collector certified. So I think there's that issue. And then the second issue for completeness that I noticed was I have some questions with regard to the deed. There's two deeds in here, deed from 2016. It looks recorded, and it was recorded. There was some handwritten amendments to the grantee, which is always a concern, was that were those handwritten amendments put in before the deed was recorded or after the deed was recorded, which causes me a little concern. And then you follow that up by a recorded quitclaim deed of December of 2018. The copy I have is not recorded. So if you look in your packet, the 2018 deed is just a draft deed. So I have questions about the ownership issue, and it's making reference in the quitclaim deed to allegedly being an error in being on the grantee, but without thinking of it, I think the burden was on the applicant to provide the most recent approved deed. So I think you have two checklist items, but well, certification clearly a checklist item, but the deed I think raises a question. So my recommendation would be to include.
Well, we can deem it complete and they can bring those items.
Subject to that.
Subject to the hearing.
Sure.
If those are new things, sure. Correct. So those two items, monthly make notes to, talk to the applicant, make sure that he can, he's able to clarify those. The tax assessor's issue. If that's what he was given by our tax assessor, that's a mistake on the tax assessor at the end. So it could hold the applicant he can fix that prior to the hearing. So based on Tom's letter and comments by Scott, motion to deem the blank application complete.
I'll make a motion to deem it complete contingent on the tax certification and the copy of the actual recording deed.
One second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Benjamin?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Right, so our next meeting available for the hearing?
Well, at our next meeting, we have, on the 27th, we do have EM Realty back. So August 10th would be the prospective one that gives enough time for noticing and all of that information.
For August 10th. And Saturday previous,
Saturday previous is the key. Yes,
so August 8th, we decide on. Yeah, August 8th at 9 AM. Nine AM to decide well.
make sure that's noticed.
Okay, and we have, block 39, lot 20. This is, septic waiver, this is, Stony Brook Lane. Had this in front of us a few months back. Small change in correction of the septic system,
Sure. As was stated, this application is before us for variances and for the site plan approval. One of the conditions of that approval was that we need to get our county health department approval for the septic, to apply for this, to the county issued a letter identifying that the septic system, the septic field is outside the building envelope. As the board might recall, a few years ago, we revised the ordinance that septic replacement or repairs could be outside of the building envelope, but for use something, which this would be, but it's not, still have to be contained within the building envelope. The applicant's design for the septic is slightly different than what it was when they were here for their variance and site plan approval. They moved the septic tank so that it is located in the building envelope, and they revised their field from a rectangular to a square field to try to minimize the amount of extent into the outside of the building envelope. So they minimized that, but they still need to be for that. Their engineer submitted a letter making some very valid points. As you may recall, the variances that they needed before were associated with environmentally constrained areas, steep slopes, and more importantly, the 300-foot terrain line. So they've located their septic system so that it is as far at the furthest reach of that 300-foot riparian buffer as possible. But the setbacks, but they run into a setback issue. So from an environmental standpoint, there's really, they can't really put it any further away from the road without encroaching further into the 300-foot riparian buffer. And they've already had a DEP permit for the portion of the septic within the riparian buffer. So my recommendation would be that the waiver be granted or encroaching outside the building.
And the 100% replacement is completely outside of the. Something that's correct.
Yes, and then they also have a reserve system. Which they have a reserve system there, but that is completely outside, correct, completely outside of the building envelope, so it would be entirely within the setback. But again, for them to relocate it further into the lot, it would encroach again into the flood hazard area and create more of an environmental impact. And that reserve area is, should these proposed area fail, and they can't do a repair within that.
And that one is completely out of the repair area.
Correct. Yes, that's completely out of our carrying area. And one of the other conditions with that is that they have basically included deed notice that that area is reserved for the reserve septic field and no permanent structure can be installed.
Any questions?
Just a question for my own knowledge, when did the reserve area like become mandatory?
That's been in the ordinance for a while, for a long time, for any new development. For new development, not reserved or not a replacement or repair for something that's gonna be there. The idea is that, especially for subdivisions, you didn't want to create a lot that had a septic field, but then, you know, not have an area for reserve septic field, because sometimes there's, depending on where they are in town, there may be a, you know, more frequent failure of septic systems over the years.
Yeah. Thank you.
If you've been doing this for you, but they never do the work, so.
No, they don't.
Oh, they do it again, it's supposed
If the original system fails, and they need to use that reserve area, does it still require a variance?
If the board grants them the waiver for the reserve system at this time, they would not need that, then that would be on it.
They have the option of repairing. Yeah, completely digging out the.
It depends on what the failure is.
So we repair it.
If the repair is a repair of laterals, so forth, then it can stay within its with the same footprint. If it's because the soils underneath fail, then they have to find a new location.
So they're gonna dig it all up and replace those soil.
Not that, they would want to do that because it would be cheaper for them to.
Put it in, yeah.
Any other questions? We do have the applicant is in the audience. So I do want to open public record and public comment to this.
Open to the public.
Second. Those in favor? Do you have anything to say?
Motion closed.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we're gonna vote on Tom's July 9th letter of recommendation for granting the septic waiver. The two Stony Brook Lane. I need a motion.
When you consider this a condition of approval. One of the waiver.
It's a design, it's a design waiver.
We didn't put a condition of approval compliance in it.
Well, there was a condition of approval in the original application that they needed to get Hunter County Health Department approval.
Right.
So by granting this waiver, then formalizes the Hunter County Health Department approval and satisfies that, and they can go there.
I make a motion to accept the self-employed with the block 31, 20. We have one motion.
I'll second it.
Based on Tom's letter. With that.
Yes. Based on. On
Sure.
the first notice.
We do have some questions. I mean, if we base conditions on getting an approval from the county based on the design, shouldn't, if we go to change that design, shouldn't we have a formal hearing to do that? Considering it's a change from what we approved in a formal hearing.
That's. Yeah.
I was gonna say. I'll try to defer to Scott on, it, but. What they're requesting design relief for now is not a subject of the relief that they had requested. In the application, so it doesn't really impact any of the variances that were granted. And it perfects the site plan, say this was a site plan, it didn't have any variances. And it was sent to the Hunter County Health Department for, as a condition of approval. And it came back, and there had to be some design changes to the septic field. That I think is within the parameters of that site plan approval. Why with that?
I would concur with that, it's within the parameters, and yeah, that's why I suggested you could. Kind of call it, you could call it condition of approval, basically, so it wouldn't require, you are correct, Mr. Vice Chairman, I think if it were, you would have that. So, but I think we can put it within the application, as a
Just perfecting the.
perfecting, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Abstention? Motion approved. All right, so Mark, I'll send you a formal email. Good to go. Anybody who's been open to the public for public comment?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Right.
Yes, yeah.
I can't hear. You guys need to speak up. So did you deem it complete or incomplete?
Which
Which,
3412?
3412 was deemed incomplete.
Incomplete.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I couldn't hear it all, and I couldn't hear why Grace was recusing herself, but she said it. So,
Grace recuse yourself from different now.
no, I understand. I'm just saying, pointing out
You can.
what I
I think
can't
that fan
hear.
over there might be.
Yeah, that might be doing.
It's just, so, I mean, I can hear Tom fine. That's about it.
That's the fan.
Or he enunciates.
Is there anybody in the audience today who believes that they were not able to hear anything which would affect their decision on whether they want to comment on anything?
It doesn't affect my comment, but I can hear.
All right,
I can hear you now, but because you're speaking loud.
all I'm asking is if there's someone here who believes that it's affected their ability to comment and participate.
It's going to be no mistake.
I'm not hearing anything to the right.
Okay, my second point is, this does have to deal with, I'm thinking this based on the resolution that you just memorialized, and thinking of the neighbor that came. In my opinion, I feel that this board should listen to neighbors. I believe that that neighbor could have walked out of here a lot happier, and the applicant get what they want if I feel like the neighbor was listened to a little more, and maybe there were some accommodations like, you know, bigger buffer or whatever it was. That's my own opinion. So I just want to say that. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Nobody's on Zoom? Motion to close the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Mayor?
Land use related, we continue to monitor the updates on the real rules. Tom, the conference of mayors is hosting a morning about real rules at on the 29th. And then we're also monitoring the land use regulations that allow nonprofits, churches and schools to bypass local zoning, which is still in play. So there's a lot of attached to a variety of local zoning laws and ordinances that we continue to monitor and try to defend appropriately local municipality. So nothing specific to Bethlehem yet, but things that we monitor and watch. And so if anybody would like to share input on that, I'm happy to take it back to our legislative leaders. So then we can talk. And then non-land use related, I apologize that we still do not have air conditioning in here, although tonight it's not too bad, even with the as I referenced the last meeting, 1940s era. But with that, the cooling center will be open tomorrow and definitely Wednesday and Thursday and beyond as needed from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the community center next door. Hopefully it's needed for cooling and not for power outages. At the township meeting, I will share that I disagree because I think our predecessors would be fine with 100-degree temperatures. But our township meeting will be moving to a Zoom platform only for Thursday because we cannot move the recording equipment to the community center effectively, and we cannot guarantee connectivity. So unfortunately, I'll say it is a virtual meeting only for the township meeting is going Thursday. That's all I have.
Jeff? Any board members? Monica?
No.
Just wanted to say, we used to have some hot meetings and
I was the dissenting voice, so I got phone calls because I was pretty stern about it, but I was still not voting.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
I'll try to speak up. Sorry. But usually
Trying to stop the same. Yeah, you called me. Like, in your head about. Yeah. Work, so. Right.